Gregg Scharnau. We've done this tribute show since 6 a.m., and we're going to ramp it. It's kind of like a telethon. We're going to go until we're done is what we're going to do, Mike. And now we've got a friend of Shark's in the studio. And, Brian, we don't go way back. So, Mike, I'm going to let you handle this introduction.
Brian Davis and I have known each other for years, fellow broadcasters. And although we've never worked together, we've spent time in the same states, same companies, different companies. Right. You know how radio is. It's a brotherhood or a fellowship.
Everybody's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a small, tight-knit community, so to speak. And you were good friends with Shark.
Yeah, we met because, I grew up in Eastern Iowa. I went to high school in Tiffin. My first job was at what is now Z102.9.
Sure.
When it was a country station.
Max 102.9.
So you go way back.
And I still have the scars from the butt whooping that K-Hawk laid on us.
Oh, right, yeah.
But, yeah, I got to know Shark when he came to work for KRNA to do news for those guys, which I think was Scott and
Those guys
Joe.
in the morning?
Those guys in the morning.
That was the name of the show, yeah.
And we got to know each other a little bit. And then Max went away, and we became friends a little bit more because I had plenty of time.
Yeah, right.
And we got to hang out together. And then I went to Dubuque, which is Shark's hometown.
Right.
And I started working at a couple of radio stations where Shark had started his career. And we just had these friends, these mutual friends and we just became really good friends. And there's a group that they call themselves the Scouts. I've never been allowed. But it's one of those, we had 2 or 3 very specifically scheduled outings every year, including the one that we had talked to Shark most recently about. We did one in January, because everybody except me, their birthdays are in January,
right,
like Shark's is. And so we would have a birthday party where everybody, no matter where they were in the country, broadcasting, would all converge on Dubuque Day to celebrate a birthday. And
wow, Dubuque in January. Who could think of anything nicer?
Couldn't think of a better place to be. Let me run the cable car up a couple of times.
So,
I love you, Dubuque.
When I saw Shark, we got together for the Iowa-Nebraska game on Black Friday, and he was the best he looked the best I had seen him in.
You guys
6-9
watched the
months.
game together?
Yeah.
Where at?
At his house.
Wow.
And he looked amazing, and he was himself. He would say things that I didn't understand, which is how I knew Shark was feeling good. And was talking about getting together in January, and then just a few weeks later, we had gotten a note from Susan saying that he was in hospice, and then unfortunately the news yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's just a really sad. We love him. He's our brother, and it's really like losing a brother. It's been tough.
Brian, one of the questions I've been asking our guests this morning is, as a parent, I know that my kids now as adults are asking me about things when I was their age. So young children or school-age children, think of them 10, 15 years from now listening to a recording of this broadcast. What would you tell them about their dad?
Well, first of all, I would explain to Henry that the reason that he has such a massive head is because of his father. Because it doesn't show real well on the website, but Shark had a head. I don't know how he got in this room ever, really, because it was just so damn big. But Shark loved his family.
Yeah.
I first met Shark when he was a single man, and he started dating Susan. And when we first met Susan, we knew this is his soulmate. This is his other half. This is the half that's going to keep him from,
it's destiny. Yeah.
From doing something stupid one day down the road. And then, they were, they had tried to have kids, and then they went and they adopted Dylan. And just as they kept adding children and kept adding children,
building a family,
sure. You could just see him come into his own. Yeah. He was put on this earth to be a father.
Yeah.
He was born to be those kids' dads and Susan's husband. That was what he was here for.
That's so true. That's so true. Did you ever drink with him? He wasn't a big drinker.
God.
But I never knew him as a big drinker, but he used to tell me stories. Oh, yeah, back when I was in Arizona, I smoked Camel Wides, and I'm like, I can't see you. Yeah, I knew this gal, this guy, and I used to sit back, have a couple drinks. I said, really? You smoke Camel Wide cigarettes? That just doesn't seem like the Shark I know.
We would have this thing every year in the spring. We called it the NFL weekend, which stood for no ladies.
Yeah. I love it, yeah.
And we would be there, and there'd be just beer, coolers of beer, because in Dubuque that's all there is to do is to drink. And so all these guys who grew up in Dubuque, they are drinkers.
Yeah.
And Shark could play.
Oh yeah.
But he would always bring his own beer.
Oh
it was like
yeah.
everybody else would be Bud Light or light, Miller Lite or whatever, and he would bring his cooler of Spotted Cow.
Yeah, good for him. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he had the good stuff.
And but he would just, when he didn't drink a lot, but when he started to drink, he was gonna drink.
Oh yeah.
And he would go, and it was one of the beautiful things about Shark. Or as they called him on KDTH, Courteous Gregg Curtis.
Oh, I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known that a few years ago.
He loved that bit. One of the, gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot where I was going. But
he knew how to enjoy.
He knew how, and he was one of the rare people that he would tell a story, and somebody would laugh, and he would come back to it, and he would come back to it, and it would still be funny, and then it would get ungodly annoying, and he'd want to punch him in the throat, but he'd keep going, and then it would be funny again.
Yeah,
and he had that feeling. It was hilarious.
Great stories today here on the KRNA Morning Show. Mike, if it's okay, we're going to extend it a little bit. We need to take a break, though. We got some spots to play now.
No, actually, we're good.
Oh, we're good on spots.
Yep,
okay, okay. Just making sure that we're okay there. So, in wrap up, if there's anything that you could say to Shark right now, what would it be? If he was let's say I'm Shark, what would you say to him if you knew this was maybe the last time you'd get to talk to the guy?
I'm not sure Shark ever knew how much we loved him.
Yeah.
We told him, especially as this last year, and because it's Shark, we found out when he texted us.
Right.
But and he didn't want to talk about it much.
Outside of his family, he was more of a fist bump guy than he was a hugging guy.
Yeah.
Not that he wouldn't give you the good old man hug.
Oh yeah, we got the man hugs, but yeah, he was that. This was one of those things like everybody's been talking about. He was more interested in you than he was in him, and he wanted you to know that. So we didn't talk about it, and my wife has had a bunch of health challenges, not unlike Shark himself. So he knew that so he and I had a kind of a special bond there, where he knew, I knew he didn't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So he would just say, "Dude, you know how it is," and then I would leave him alone.
Yep.
But I don't think he knew exactly how much not only his friends and his family loved him, but everybody. He had 5 kids. He had Dylan, he had Leah, he had Henry, he had Josie, but he had KRNA.
Mm-hmm.
And this radio station, we live and die by these stupid numbers that we get every 6 months. Yeah. And ratings book would come out and it wouldn't be great, and he would text me. He's like, "Oh, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do." And then he would come back 6 months later and it would be awesome. And he'd be like, "Oh my, you're not gonna believe, men 18 to 49 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Oh my God!"
Interesting point when you bring out that fifth baby, or that fifth child. Yeah, KRNA was his baby, and we were honored that he had the opportunity to program it for as many years as he did, through his illness as well, for as long as he could, because it, as he said, it gives him that purpose, that focus beyond just love and family and close friends, and that's about all we could do.
It broke his heart when he left KRNA.
Yeah,
it absolutely broke his heart.
And but he knew that this place has always had Gregg's fingerprints all over it. The DNA is embedded into this radio station and the spirit of the station, and so he left a great legacy. Gregg also understood that he was well loved by his family and friends and his radio community, but I don't know that if Gregg could know how much he impacted the lives so profoundly of so many others, not just radio professionals, whether it was a weekend warrior like Chad Cooper or Bill Hahn or Valerie Hyatt, or whether it was giving a guy a start in another market or another position. But that's what mentors do, and that's what that's what real leadership is all about. And Gregg he was a great leader, a great family man, and we are definitely going to miss him. His family is holding a celebration of life at Theater Cedar Rapids on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, December 28th at 7 p.m. The public is invited, and family and friends are encouraged to attend as well. They have also set up a memorial fund for their children, Dylan, Leah, Henry, and Josephine Scharnau's education fund, and you can make a contribution to that at Hills Bank in Marion, Iowa. That was Gregg's hometown. Gregg Scharnau, age 49, passed away yesterday. Today, we begin the winter, the solstice occurring, and a new season is on us. So, James, I'm going to let you intro our little song
and before
here.
we do that, why don't we, I'm going to start with you. If there's one thing you could say to the kids or to Shark for him listening as we wrap up this special broadcast today.
Well, the reason I was asking that question is because I've got adult children now, and they ask me about times when I was their age and what I was like beforehand. And as kids, it's heartbreaking enough, especially at this time of year. I can't imagine what it must be like to lose a parent at that age. But I'm thinking years from now, they may perhaps pull out this audio from a recording and listen to it. They may be 10 or 15 years older, and they'll be able to hear the adults in the room, and they'll be able to appreciate and understand a little bit more about how their dad impacted not only the lives that they lived up to the time when they lost him, but how he profoundly impacted so many others as well. And the character that he and Susan have instilled into those kids, the characters that they develop in life, are a great part of the DNA, emotional, spiritual DNA of those kids, and they'll carry that with them for the rest of their lives. What they don't know, and what this broadcast will hopefully bring to them maybe 10 or 15 years from now, is the opportunity to hear how he has touched so many lives in such a positive, profound way, how much he had passion for fun and spontaneity and for life and for his kids, for his family.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'll say to those kids is he's going to be with you every step of the way. He's just not going to be on the planet Earth, but he will be with you, and he's going to be missed. And I'll say it right now, he was one of my best friends that I had. So we love you, Shark, and the family. Hang in there. We'll see everybody Wednesday, of course, at the Celebration of Life. So I want to play a song just to wrap up this whole broadcast. Thank all of our guests for coming out. It's going to be a tough couple of days here, and keep the family in your thoughts and your prayers and all that good stuff. So I was going to play some Iron Maiden, but instead we're going to play some Motley Crue. We love you, Shark. This one's for you. Safe home, home sweet home. We love you here at 858 at KRNA. We remember our pal, the one, the only, Gregg the Shark Scharnau. God bless, brother.